Binary Pals. Welcome to episode 5 of Mike's campaign of Sugoi Sauce. We are happy you've joined us. In this wonderful world of ours, we have our four lovely compatriots here. Specifically, we have. Hold on. I'll pull up my Discord so I can actually see everybody's names in order. We have the Gnome Tinker, Babbage Charles, aka Jim. We have the Furblog Druid, Hugh. We have Canaan Stormblessed, a High Elf Monk. And we have Wallace Stoneguard. That's not labeled properly. We have the Blessed Bellarmine. Let's see if I can fix this live.
Do it live.
Yeah, do it live.
Call me anything.
Why is that? I'm glad I checked the Switch stream. Let's see. No, that should be no. All right, stand by. Technical difficulties. Let's see. Blessed. I can't spell. Blessed Bellarmine.
Two L's ERMINE.
Two L's E. Wait. Wait.
Two L's, ER, mine.
Got it.
ERMINE.
MINE. Got it. Okay. Awesome. And that is fixed live. Sweet. All right. So, as you recall from our last adventure, which was a while ago in real life time, we had originally started the night in a destroyed town along the edge of the world, with a bunch of kobolds and a trapped owl bear. The group successfully dispatched said kobold, or no, not kobolds, wolf-like creatures, lycelots, if you will. And then we successfully released the owl bear, went into the woods, or went onto the road, kind of got harassed by a bunch of more of the lycelots, chased them through the woods, successfully dispatched all but one of them. Came to a fork in the road. One direction said the wilderness, the other one said harm's way. The group decided to go north after much deliberation. Came across this amphitheater-like place with some use, but otherwise not really sure what it's for. And then we came across the gate of a town that turns out is called Harm's Way, meeting two delightful characters by the name of Tiberius and Dimitri, who let you all in. You have essentially just entered through the gate, and I've made yourself into Harm's Way. And with that, we will get started into the players. And the very first thing you hear as you're walking through the gate is Tiberius yelling down to you as you walk past. Oh, I forgot to tell you, there's 3 specific rules to being in harm's way. 1, no fighting, please. We'd rather not have to deal with that if we could. 2, no public music after dusk, just as respect to the group. And no spells. Nothing of the spell variety. I think you've probably seen with the time you've been on the island that ends poorly, and we'd like our houses to remain standing. So, yes, please. No spells. Thank you.
Tiberius,
Yes.
do you have any more information as to why spells get all wonky woo, or is there someone I can talk to with more info about that?
Your best bet is to talk to the man in the big tower. And he points to the very obvious tower. As you recall, it is a older. It looks like it's a much older building among the rest of these. Number 1 on the map. It stands a good. How many stories tall is it? I want to say 6. Although, like, eye level is actually like the 3rd level where you are, because it actually like goes down into this crevasse, but it still towers above everything else. Let me double check how many stories it actually is. 1. Yeah, it's 6. It's 6 stories.
Okay.
In total. But yeah.
And the old man's name?
Oh man. No, you'll find Cognin in there. He's
Sorry.
just
Corgnin?
Cognin. He's a half orc of sorts. I would suggest that you maybe tell him that you're full when you get in. He likes to experiment on the new people when it comes to food. Oh, and River. River, there's a lady in there that lives with him named River.
Well, I appreciate the information. Thank you much.
All right. You're in town.
Okay. So describe this town. Is it bustling? Is it small? Is it lively? Is it new? Is it run down? Does it look like there's a lot of trade? Like, what do I see here?
So there's not a
Here,
lot of
Give me your
activity.
box. Give me your box text.
Right, which I suppose I should have written ahead of time, but here we are. This is Mike's improvising skills. So the town itself, you just as you stop hearing, or as you stop the conversation with Tiberius on the wall, you notice the faint sound of like violins. You think like music, like string music coming from somewhere off to the northwest of you, toward like 4 and 5 on the map. There does not seem to be a lot. Like you don't have a bunch of people walking in front of you. There is not a lot of activity. Like you see off in the distance, like 2 or 3 people milling around between buildings. But there doesn't seem to be the activity level is not very high at all compared to like a town that used to be seeing in civilization. The buildings
You all
themselves.
remember if he said no music or no singing?
He
No
said no
music
music
after
after
dark.
dusk. What time is it currently?
Roughly
The sun.
1 p.m.
Okay.
So there's you hear you hear string music off to the a bit off to the northwest.
Babbage dabbles in the viol.
Perfect. The buildings themselves look fairly new, like they've been built in the last. You'd want to say you Babbage would know that probably the last 10 years, with the exception of the tower, which looks much older.
Just the tower.
Yes, the tower looks like an entirely different architectural. Like it looks like a bunch of old stones that were piled up like really high, as opposed to the rest of the buildings, which look much more of a modern, like very like very precise stonework, as opposed to a bunch of just rocks piled up together.
So it's all stone and mason and thatch roof, wood roof, shingle roof,
Wood roofs.
wood roofs. Okay.
Yeah, stonework and wood roofs.
Very nice.
Very all well
Like-
put together.
Yeah, I was gonna say stuff like this looks like really well architectural stairs and walls.
Yes. Very like is fairly precise, well done. I mean, and it is, and like they don't look very well walked. Like there doesn't seem to be that much foot traffic. You see, I mean, like I said, you see occasional people. Like you can kind of see over here downstairs. You see some folks milling about. You kind of really can't see up on this platform.
Is this water or void?
Void.
Very good.
Or like
so it's not
bottomless
just
cliff.
like it's not just a crevice that's dark. It's like there's clouds below there.
Yes, there are clouds
Okay.
below there.
So it's truly separated to nothingness. Okay.
I mean, you can as you look up, you see that like that bridge is just there to sort of cross that crevice. You could go up and around.
Yeah, I see that it's connected. I just didn't know if this was like a gouge or if it was true void.
No, yeah, you fall down, you're falling for a long time.
Okay. All right, that's all that Babbage was looking to find out. Gentlemen, I think our best bet is to make our way to that tower and inquire within. Perhaps we may want to stop by a local general store or tavern or something to restock on our supplies. And a glint in Babbage's eyes as he says the word supplies.
As you say that, unless actually, does anybody else have anything they want to ask to, I don't know, Tiberius or Dimitri, or have anything else? Any other questions for the town before we continue?
Well, the question is, what happens if you do cast a spell in here?
From the sound of things, they said it's not permitted just because of the weird malfunctions that we've already been experiencing. I think they're just trying to avoid that.
So some sort of imbalance in gravity?
I'm not sure the nature of it. That's what I think we're going to find out by talking to the old man in the tower, or the orc in the tower. I don't think he's old. I think it's an old tower with a young man. Maybe it's an old man and maybe it's a young man in an old tower with an old woman in the young part of it. Maybe it's an old tower with a young old.
I just start
older,
walking away.
young-
Yeah, let's go on.
So, as you are walking, as Kanadin, you're walking up toward these stairs, this
Red panda.
red panda person comes walking around the corner, sort of just She seems lost in thought, and then like looks up and realizes she's like, we have new people.
Has Babbage ever encountered an Ursine humanoid?
Probably. They're not
Okay.
common, but yeah, they're not. It's not like a what the hell. No, this
It's
is
not
not.
like I've just dropped into a Disney movie. Like I expect that this exists.
Yes, this isn't like a what the heck. They're
Yeah.
not. They're not the most. They're from like an isolated island, and but you see them on occasion. They're rare.
Is it on the back of a turtle that swims through? Pants around?
Maybe.
So,
Um,
okay, so I guess I encounter her first.
She's like, oh, hi, hello, how are you? My name's Julie. She walks up and just grabs your hand, Canadan, is like very enthusiastically like, hi, I'm Julie. Walks up to you. Hi, I'm Julie. Walks basically around you two, up to the blessed Bellarmine. Hello, good sir. My name's Julie. Nice to meet you. Leans down to Babbage. Good day to you, sir. Hello, hello, hello. It's so nice to have new people. It's been so long. Oh, welcome to Harm's Way. It's so nice to be around. Let me take you for a tour. Come on. Follow me.
Talk about a welcome wagon.
Oh, wow. Okay, can we go to the tower, please? Yeah.
Oh, you want to go to? Oh,
Really?
you want to go straight to we can. I mean, if you insist, we can go straight there. I mean, there's plenty of things to see along the way. I suppose here we can. I'll give you dealer's choice. Would you like to go up the hill, or would you like to go across the bridges first? In fact, you know what? Let's go up the hill because your accommodations will likely be somewhere on the down of the hill until we can build you a house. All right, up we go.
Fine. Okay.
I'm sorry. Did you
fine.
say
If you
build
only-
me a house?
Oh, well, yes. I
Do
mean,
you anticipate that I'm going to become a permanent resident of Harm's Way?
I mean, everybody kind of does. Nobody's. We have yet to find a way to leave, so I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm Julie, by the way. We've been here for
You mentioned.
about what has it been? 7 years now. I'll have to ask Dr. Him. It's been going so quickly. What do you all do? Talk to me. She's mingling as she walks and talks.
Very well, Julie. Yes, okay, fine. We'll follow you, Julie. Do the thing, and we will.
Thank you.
Doctor
Come
who?
on. Come on, blessed Bellarmine.
I don't know. This sounds a little hokey to me.
Well, you're welcome to stand in the center of town and do nothing if you like.
You know,
I'm
I
sorry, what
can't
was your
find
name, sir?
myself.
Sir, you can come along. We'll show you around. There you go. Moving across the map. All right, moving to number 5.
The way to leave is back here.
All right, so this is the barracks. Think.
Barrett?
Oh. What is this map?
Can you all see? Wait,
It's
can you
very
see
long.
anything?
Oh yes, okay, yeah.
Oh, I
Is
see.
it
Scroll down.
Is it tall and narrow, or is it just me?
Yeah, it's very, very tall and narrow. Where
The map
Okay.
is tall and narrow, and you're near the bottom. It's
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was just zoomed in. Or...
What is this green line? Is that supposed to be dynamic lighting that's not working?
no, it's just a wall that the gates open. So what you see in front of you is a tower. As you walk into, oh, I forgot I messed with my lighting. Where's my reveal stuff? Hold on. Here we go. Okay. All right. So what you see in front of you is a 3-story tower that's got like a field in front of it. It's sort of like a small little courtyard through this fence. It's sort of like a blocked open path, and it just looks like a small little. Yeah, it's just Julie explains so this is the barracks. It's sort of like a holding place for whoever happens to be on watch. You have to understand that some of the folks around here do have to rotate through the guard duty to make sure that we're on the guard on the walls to make sure that any of those pirates or those rough little wolf creatures don't come and bug us too much. Would you like to come in, or do you want to just keep going through the town?
Who mans the barracks? You have a militia? How many people live in the town?
Oh, there's probably about, 30, 40 of us. It's really more just a place where folks can practice drills to make sure that we can work together in the event that the town does actually get attacked. Some of our weapons are stored in here. In fact, I believe
40 people built all of this?
We've been here for a long time.
It's quite impressive. And he admires the architecture. Is it impressive, or am I just saying that?
I mean it's okay, I guess. Where is?
Alright. I'm
Hold
just
on.
being nice then.
Yes.
What kind of weapons are in there?
Oh. Oh, just spears, swords, shields. Your standard fare. Nothing. Anything that Grimm's able to put together. Grimm's our local blacksmith, by the way. He's the one that did most of the construction of this place. I'll see if anybody's home. She sort of walks into the. She just lets herself in and walks into the door. Why can't I? Oh, that's why. Or no, she walks in here actually. Oh, I don't actually have a token for her, but all right. Julie's with you. Hello, is anybody home? And this lady walks out.
Oh. How do you do, madam?
Hello, all. Oh, more new people. Oh, that's good. We'll have more folks to rotate into the shift.
I don't see anything.
Rotate into the shift.
Did you scroll to the bottom of the map, Dad?
Somebody just moved him.
Well, the
I
map
moved
doesn't quite fit on the thing.
Yeah, it's a really
Slide
tall,
right.
skinny map. So if you just scroll down, you'll see where all the tokens and stuff are.
Where did Julie go? I don't see her.
I forgot to put her token on here. Hold on. I can
Okay.
I can grab
Probably
her.
copy and paste it from another page, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Hold on. Where's my Jew? There she is.
There's somebody else in there, right?
Yeah, this is a new lady.
So here's Julie. Julie, hi, Eleanor, hi, we have new people. And she goes, I see that. That'll be nice to have. Is more folks to be helping man the guard post and deal with any more pirate attacks. How do you do? All? My name's Eleanor.
Yeah, very well. We're just on our way through. Thank you so much. Can we go to the tower now?
Oh, well, quite mighty impatient. Very well. Julie heads on out of the barracks.
You'll have to pardon my companions, Helen. Oh, never mind. Goodbye.
You can keep talking to her.
You have to pardon my companions. We've been weary from travel, and he's quite excited to go see how we can get off this blasted floating island. Not that it hasn't been a lovely stay.
Eleanor, the woman in the barracks. Oh, I totally understand. This place is extraordinarily dangerous. That's why everybody tends to stay inside the walls and only travels out when we can. I'm sure we'll see you down at the tavern. As you head off. So Julie continues. All right, well, since you are very... Ooh, didn't mean to move the map there.
Move the map. Put it back to the map layer instead of the token layer, and then you won't do that.
Yeah, how did I don't even know how I did that. Anyway. There we go. All right, so she moves up these stairs. It's like, well, over here's this is the garrison, which is where outside of just weapons being stored, just another place for people to sleep. We'll move past that. Moves up the stairs here. This is my house. I suppose you don't want to come in? Oh, I missed it. Oh, hold on, I missed the detail. As we were walking through this courtyard here, there is a group of 4 people. I don't have tokens for them, but there's a group of 4 people, like a halfling, a human, hold on, I actually have exactly who they are. Where's my... where are my notes? Dang it. Oh, hold on, let me move to... oh, dang it. All right, I'll go back to details later, but there's a string quartet playing in the middle of this field, or in the middle of this courtyard. Yeah, like you have a violin, a viola, and I can't think of the names of the other 2, but like literally, like you have these 4 people playing. They kind of stop for a second when they see you. They kind of wave as Julie's chattering and kind of just doesn't even seem. Julie just keeps going as if this is perfectly normal, and then they go back to actually playing their music.
Well, that's quite lovely. Is it quite lovely, or am I just being nice?
No, it is very good.
There seems to be there was like a big amphitheater and a place where people played a lot of music, and now 4 people playing music over here. And what's with the music?
Oh, so it would probably be best if I let Dr. Him himself explain what it is that makes us all, what brought most of us to this island together. But I suppose I could give you the quick version of the story. Long story short is, most of us here were part of a traveling orchestra, and then we were seemingly the first people that crashed on this floating island. Yes, 7 years ago now, and we've been sort of building this town ever since. With the occasional straggler that has also come to join our group, like the two that you actually may have seen on the two that you saw on the wall. Were not original members of our crew, but that is the majority. That's the main source of where we all came from. And the amphitheater is a place that we try every once in a while. We try to go out once every 10 day or so to actually perform as a group to sort of keep morale up. You understand? Actually, if you wouldn't mind stepping into my house for a minute, I need to tend to my bees.
Bees.
Beads?
They make the world go round.
So as you're walking up to her house, and she comes into her door, she lets you in. And she goes, "All right, feel free to make yourselves at home for a moment. I'm just going to step outside back here, and make sure that tend to the bees." And she goes out and like there are actually the occasional like honeybee just buzzing around. So I don't know.
The moment she says "make yourselves at home,"
Yeah.
my eyes start roaming the walls for anything that's not like anything that's not just like food tools.
So there's
shiny colors and interesting glows.
So this over here in the bottom right corner.
Oh.
I forgot to add this piece, but like there is a table with it looks like a table that can turn into a chair with another chair next to it. The table itself has a bunch of runes, and there's a like a person-sized table that looks like it turns into a chair. Kind of think like almost like a dentist chair, if you will. Next to that is another table with a bunch of small vials, and would look like needles sitting in them, and they're various different colors.
Like tattoos?
Like maybe.
Interesting. What's all this over here?
It looks like a bunch of other. It's like a work table with what looks like a bunch of other larger bottles of different colors, mixtures. You're not entirely certain what they are, just on sight. A lot of different notes, various different patterns. What looks like some scrolls.
What's all this over here?
That's more of like that looks like some. That looks like more like a small little food prep station.
What's this?
Not blue crystals. It's just food.
The blue. Yeah, no, that's the blue crystals are not 100% accurate.
Okay.
What's that, Bellarmine?
What's this blue round thing in the corner?
So there's a table there.
Yeah.
The floor itself doesn't actually have the runes on it, but there's a table in the corner that does. And they don't glow, but there is some interesting patterns, like on this table. It looks like it can fold up into a chair, sort of like a dentist chair or a tattooist's. And then it looks like what Bellarmine has successfully interpreted is what looks like. Let's see. Yes, very good, Babbage.
He corrected it.
So, all right. You doing all right over there? You
kind of hear like a.
They seem like you especially get a sense that these are very, like there are bees on occasion, but they're very tame. Like they're very relaxed. They seem to be very, very like you just get the sense that these are not like these bees don't seem upset that you're around. They just seem like, oh, this is life.
Julie.
Yes.
Talk to me about this contraption.
Oh yes, that's my tattoo table. So one of the things that you'll come to understand about the way that we've tried to figure out how to survive on this island is that those spells themselves tend to go a little haywire. We've had a couple of accidents. The Cognin now, whenever he wants to try something, we always have to make sure he leaves town, usually. If he wants
say we've encountered similar malfunctions ourselves.
Right, we've seen weird stuff happen when people cast spells. So we decided a long time ago, just no magic inside the walls. So there are a few of us that have, and Bellarmine's just wandering around outside. Bellarmine are. I mean, there's a bunch of honeycombs outside, and what looks like just a whole lot of bees wandering around, as well as some. In retrospect, I should have done more research on what beekeeping actually entails. But wherever you store honey, like however that works, there's the contraptions for that. So, I'm sorry, where were we?
You were talking to me about malfunctions.
Right. Yes. So I can't keep her accent straight. So
Mike, while this is happening, I'm gonna wake up for a second and cast that on the fire to put it out.
Broke one of the 3 rules.
Hold on.
Oh, no.
Oh, point of order, just so everybody remembers this. Yu still has his Super Saiyan glow thing going on, so he's still a little slow. Whispering. You create instantaneous harmless sensory effects such as falling leaves when the sun was.
Basically, just the last.
The last line. You instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire.
So you puff. All right. So you put out. Okay. That happens. Okay.
Sorry, Julie,
the fire
you were
goes out.
saying.
She has her back to this, so she doesn't realize it. She did not witness this happening, but the fire's out. Right. So there's certain. Sarah, go ahead.
And then I just roll over and go back to sleep even more restfully.
Oh, I thought the Z was the bees. You are actually sleeping in her bed.
Yeah, he's taking a nap.
Hold on, we're gonna back up because I missed that part. But so Julie, when she walks in, she notices you in her bed. She's like, "Oh, I'm okay. You don't fit, by the way. I mean, she's like 5'4". You're what, 7 feet tall? So like you have to be curled up into a little ball to fit on this bed, and even then your feet are still kind of sticking out the back.
It's funny that the feet are sticking out.
As she's saying all this is when you see like a big paw come up and just
And put the fire out.
Yep.
She's like, "Oh, what do you can we please? Oh, I suppose I forgot to tell you all. Please no magic when we're inside the walls. That's one of the 3 rules. Just there's no real punishment really for anything being. We just don't want our houses to explode or disappear or the weird, just bizarre things happening. We like it to be calm and peaceful. So just no more magic, okay? And
Certainly.
do you want Mr. Sir? You was it? And also, if you could you just keep your feet off the bed? I'd be appreciative since you've been walking around outside this whole time.
And I'm also gonna cast Minor Illusion to create the illusion.
Casting spells, you maniac!
No, hey, he does what he wants. What are you doing?
The illusion of a pillow over my head, so I can't hear all of this.
I don't. How do you? Just kind of walks away. Like I don't know how to deal with this. You were asking about my table.
I was asking you about your table. I'm not sure what you're doing on the other side of the room because I can't see through walls, but I'd love to know more about this table.
Canadan, what are you doing?
I am just like kind of standing by the door and just like kind of tapping my foot.
Patiently waiting to leave.
Yes, exactly.
Impatiently
wait.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, as Julie was saying, because we don't try to cast spells, we have noticed that other forms of magic do seem to. We can use them safely. So, like, I was a tattoo artist long before I became a member of the orchestra. And give me 1 second.
Pardon my ignorance. But, how does one tattoo skin that's covered in fur?
Oh, I have the means of my artistry can actually puncture through the skin, so that I have ways of bypassing the fur, such that when I'm drawing, it basically just imparts itself immediately once I have the proper technique done. And she actually like.
Sorry, maybe
push-
my question wasn't clear. If you have fur, how do you see the tattoo in the skin underneath?
Oh, it's the tattoo. You don't have to see the tattoo for it to have its magical effects. And with that like statement, she like shows that she has like an entire sleeve like under her fur. That she actually like shows you as like she pushes the fur away and you can see the pattern. And she's got
Oh,
another
so
sleeve like up
These
her fur.
tattoos are not just for purposes of displaying your own personal artistic preference on your skin. These are magical tattoos.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, I should very much like to learn that craft.
And at that, I take a block of incense, throw it in the incenser, and start blessing the house.
What are you doing?
I'm just imposing my religious beliefs upon your home. No, don't mind me.
Sir, I don't know if the bees would like that. Could you?
Smoking out all the bees.
Could I ask what you're doing?
Oh, just blessing the house and the bees and all of those runes and anything else to make sure that they're not evil.
I can assure you, nothing here is evil. You're not casting any spells, are you? At least not.
No, just a lot of prayer and blessing.
Oh, okay. Let's move on to the tower. She starts walking out the door. Sir, comes over to you, and like nudges your shoulder. Like we're going now.
While she's doing that, I've pulled out my book and I am sketching everything about this tattoo table.
Okay.
And I've now lost track of anything she's saying.
So she'll come and nudge you, and like, all right, we're going now. Mr. Belknap, sir, you could let's let you. I'm sure the tower I'm sure Cognan would love to get your blessings, and she's just like, time to leave, everybody. Oh, the man that actually wanted to leave is away from the screen right now.
I'm here though. Sorry, guys. Let me
Okay.
move my token.
All right, so you're anxious to leave, so I imagine you'd be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I'll be like right in front of the pack.
All right.
Okay, let's roll.
Can we go, please, sir? She's poking you again. Ravage is 15. Jeez. Oh man, I need to pull out her character sheet now. Hold on.
We've lost control.
What is happening?
You never had control. That was the illusion.
And the bees slow down quite a bit because of the smudge pot effect of the incense.
Yeah, I would believe that. To which she's just like, all right, time to go. She like she's like grabbing you now by the shoulder to try to rouse you. Are you getting up?
Do you want? You said this place was our place.
You could make it. I was.
That's phenomenal. What a good long con.
Yeah,
You
could
misinterpret and make yourself at home in the best way possible.
We have another there's another much more comfortable bed your size. This
You
way,
was
please.
very comfortable right here.
I'm afraid you misunderstood me. That is in fact my bed. Can you please?
How can you offer something that's not yours to give?
I believe you misunderstood my hospitality, good giant sir. There's a much bigger bed for you specifically. We can send you there after we get you to the tower. I must ask you. I must bring you along.
I walk back in the house and just like I see this happening, and I just
can
kind of
leave
like,
this place, but I can't leave the larger place. You is very confused.
Let me bring you to where you can actually sleep.
come on, you.
I was sleeping. I can sleep right here. You has lost his wits. You wants to speak to the bees. They're far too calm. What
Come on, you. Let's go. Come on, everybody, let's go. Julie,
Mr.
thing,
Babbage,
take us
sir,
apart.
and she like taps you on the shoulder.
Oh, yes?
I'd be happy to discuss this with you later, perhaps just in a more
it's
private
great.
setting.
Here,
No, I
press
should
this
very
thing
much
out.
appreciate that.
Uh,
I guess I can come with you.
all right,
Hey,
everybody.
we
Okay.
can make throw lozenges out of this honey. You know.
Come along, you.
Yes, we
Before I
have.
go,
We try to make as many uses as possible for the honey, but we're gonna come along now.
I'm
Okay.
using produce flame to relight the campfire.
And we can make some great blessing candles out of
Hold
that
on.
wax.
Hold. The DM is doing DM things.
Yes, because he's creating a fire again, even though. All right, so Julie's out. All right, Julie's outside. Babbage is there. You's there. Okay. You create the flame. The fire's back on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Julie. Well, I appreciate the hospitality. I should very much like to revisit your home at some point in the future. Let us proceed.
Yes. Please follow me. You know what? Let's take you straight to Cogden. I was gonna show you up to Dr. Him's house, but for now we're just gonna take you straight to the tower. And she walks you over. Well, actually, hold on. Let me see. Pause right there. Let's see if I can remember
Pause, I have two.
how to do this. Tell me if you hear. Tell me if you.
I have hands. I don't know.
All right. As we're walking, actually, as we're everybody's standing where they are. Tell me if you hear this.
Yes.
So you're hearing
You want to
that?
hear music?
Yes.
I don't hear anything.
No. Hold on.
I hear it. I hear some beautiful piano.
Oh, there we go. I had to turn you up, Mike.
Okay. So you're hearing this coming from that larger house, number 2 on the map. But as you're walking away from, as you're walking past, but as you're walking away from it, and then Dr. The Blessed Bellarmine is walking toward the music, I take it? Alright. So we're moving. Alright, moving to 2.
You is enchanted.
Ah! Dr. Him is playing. Yes, please, let me, I guess, alright, we'll go this way now? Alright, so
I was headed to the tower, but I guess I'll follow everybody else then.
I mean, if you want to keep going that way, we can just keep you off this map.
Well, I would follow Julie wherever she ended up going.
Well, since, Bellarmine and you are all enchanted by the music, so, alright. So as you're coming closer to this, Julie, you come upon a pretty decent-sized house, similar architecture to the rest of the town. It's all one story. But yeah, the music seems to be coming out of a bunch of open windows that you hear, and then as she walks up, she knows, she doesn't knock, she just kind of opens the front door, and you're led into, actually I should just feel
Hey, this isn't gonna get me copyright stricken on Twitch, is it?
Let's.
Is this royalty free?
I hope so. Did not think of that. So you open the door, the music gets a lot louder, and you see. Where is he?
Who's way back here?
Ooh, a tiefling.
You see a tiefling, playing on the piano itself is glowing. He is in the he doesn't notice you all come in. His eyes are closed. He's moving along the music. He's moving along the piano, the music that I just turned off for reasons that I may not have thought of. He's playing along. Like I said, the piano itself is sort of glowing. There's lights that are moving almost in sync with the music itself. Sort of like a I don't know what you and I would all understand as a visualizer, basically. All right. So Babbage, as you walk onto the stage, the tiefling kind of just stops, looks over, and goes, "Oh, hello."
Please don't stop playing. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Very well. Allow me to finish. It's always good. I always appreciate having a good audience. Hello, Julie. Hi, Dr. Him.
Let's talk more playing.
One must not rush music, my child. And he proceeds to start. He picks up right where he left off. And he goes on to play for probably another 2 minutes, finishing out the song.
In the course of those 2 minutes,
Yep.
Babbage is trying to discern mechanically
Yep.
what's happening with this piano to the best of his abilities.
So roll me an arcane check. In fact, all of you can. 18, 10. Zach, well done.
Where is that? Where is that?
It's Arcana. It's one of your skills, like acrobatics, animal handling, and all those.
I saw that.
Yep.
So, okay. Let's say what. Where's. Sorry, okay. Oh, alright. So you doesn't know anything about this. But, so, Babbage, you have heard of bards that manifest their own instruments with their music. You're not really certain where you've heard that from. Canadin, you know from your own background that there is a bard college that you know of that's called the College of Creation, that literally, like, they can manifest things through their music. You've never seen quite this display before. Like, literally, the piano seems to be ethereal almost.
Is this a holophoner from Futurama?
That's where my brain went.
I don't know that I haven't seen enough Futurama to be able to know the reference. But so when he stops playing, he stands up, gives a very majestic bow, and then with a flick of his wrist, the piano starts to just dissipate and almost dissolve into sparkles, and it disappears.
So Babbage stands as close to the tiefling as possible, staring up at him, and his eyes say, "Please teach me how to do this."
My, you are quite the inquisitive one. Hello. I take
Hello.
it, Julie, that these are some new people to the town? Yes, Dr. Him. Wonderful. Do any of you happen to have any musical talents?
Oh, me, I do. I can play a lot of stuff.
Well, for example, what, my young gnome friend?
I can play the bagpipes. I can play the drum, the dulcimer, the flute. I can play the horn. I can play the lute and the lyre. I can play the pan flute. I can play the shawm, and I can play the viol.
Wow,
And
you are
probably any other tool that exists in D&D, because that's part of the trade of being a tinkerer.
You are.
I have proficiency in every artisan's tool.
I've heard of tinkerers before. I never quite met one before. So you don't specialize in any one instrument, do you? More of a jack of all trades type of
Oh
fellow.
no, I've never found an instrument I couldn't pick up and figure out the mechanics of and be able to produce some kind of sound in just a few minutes.
Quite. Julie perks up when you said percussion, by the way. She's like, "Oh, I have a fellow percussionist. That's wonderful." Wow, that is quite the array of instruments you know how to play. The red.
My nine charisma doesn't make me very good at any of them, but I am capable of producing music from everything.
How about the rest of you? What about you, good giant sir? Looking at you.
With that, I start clapping my hands, and like it seems rhythmic, but it's definitely like an off-key rhythm. And then in Druidic, I just start chanting in like this terrible yodel monotone kind of, 8 charisma voice.
The teeth. Do me a favor and roll a performance for that.
Phenomenal.
At disadvantage.
Yes. 6.
So
That's
yeah.
what
That's what I'm bringing to the table.
So, anybody that's looking at the tiefling while this is happening can tell that he's forcing his face to look polite, but he's part of him is offended.
I fly.
How about you, older gentleman, sir?
Literally anyone else.
Pointing at you, Blessed Bellarmine. Ah!
He's just priest chanting. Phenomenal.
We could use
We're burning
more.
more sage.
That is wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is something. And like with almost scared to ask, he looks over at Kennedin.
I'm just leaning against the wall, my arms folded, and I just kind of make eye contact.
Okay then. Well, welcome to Harm's Way. I am sad to on one hand I am sad to see you here because I know that
Why?
fate could not have been kind to you for you to have arrived on this island. Whereas my name is Gentle Him. Dr. Gentle Him, more of a musical doctorate, if you will. I've studied at several bards colleges. Specifically, I used to teach at the Bard College of Creation, but my traveling orchestra unfortunately befell some terrible luck being attacked or crash landing on this place. So you can certainly make use of any of the resources around town. We can happily put you up in the inn. Typically, everybody that's been stuck here will try to start building you a place to live because we're stuck here. No one has been able to successfully make our way off the island. You are more than welcome to start learning, perhaps, a craft of sorts. We could always use more people to either forage for supplies. As Julie may have mentioned, we do have a weekly orchestra out in the amphitheater just to sort of boost morale, and if all else, we love to have an audience in case you don't want to participate in any way, shape, or form. Are there any questions? I'm sure you have many. It is an unusual situation to be in.
Well, we have a Babbage.
I'm sorry?
That's me.
Oh!
He's referring to me.
Yes, if you could all please introduce yourselves, that would be much appreciated.
Well, I guess I'll start then. The name is Babbage Charles. As I mentioned, I'm a bit of a tinkerer, kind of a jack of all trades, master of a couple. Typically, I've learned to augment my crafts with magical abilities, but as I have been informed and experienced myself, spells seem to go quite awry, and that's really what we're here trying to find out. I hear that Cognin might have some more information about why that's happening.
Yes, he would be the local expert. He's one of the folks that showed up on this island after the rest of the orchestra. He himself was not an original member of our troupe or our symphony. But yes, he is certainly much more of an expert on that subject than myself. So I will happily direct you in his direction.
In theory, if you were to create a vehicle of some kind that could fly, you could simply leave the island, correct?
There have been several attempts at that. Back when we first arrived on the island, there were a few attempts for us to create flying mechanical instruments of sorts, but most of the means that we were used to try to build something required some form of magic, and unfortunately a lot of our resources have been used mostly to keep our own town intact and to stave off attacks from the various different denizens of this rather dangerous place. I'm sure you've.
I shall take up the charge to craft a flying vehicle and get at least myself off of this island.
That, if you can successfully avoid both the creatures as well as the flying pirates that we have overhead on occasion, or maybe even one foul night, we even attempted to commandeer one of those that ended poorly. I would be more than happy to support such an endeavor. We would be all very happy to leave if that is something that is in the realm of the possible. And Blessed Bellarmine is
Well, I
running
have
away.
a task now. My overarching goal is to commandeer a flying pirate ship.
I'm
sorry?
looking for flying pirate.
You're just looking up at the sky right now. It's a gorgeous day out. There's a couple of clouds in the sky, but otherwise it's beautiful, and you do not see anything else except maybe the occasional bird and a couple of birds that are waiting on top of the roof, waiting for you to come back outside so they can plop back on his shoulders. You, Kanadin, what are you two up to?
I
this
am
a
standing by
wall?
the door, tapping my foot again. Guys,
Oh.
can we get going to go see this guy so we can figure out what's going on? And then we just continue to stand by the door, looking moderately annoyed.
I'm passing through the space where the piano was, trying to pace about, figure out how it just disappeared.
I imagine you are not familiar with the College of Creation as a magical means of being able to create something out of the music that you are playing.
No.
It is quite the feat. I am happy to possibly instruct you on some of it, or at least give you some of the theory behind it at some other time. But in the meantime, I'm sure. Sorry, go ahead.
How do I speed myself up? I seem to be moving ever more slowly as I go through this place.
Oh, you look like we've had one or two of our folk when they've experimented with magic outside the walls have something like that happen to you. It goes away after a day. Don't worry about it.
Hasn't it been more than a day?
No, I've been tracking.
Oh, okay.
No, he's
Very.
got about. No, he's got about.
Well,
Is your bed up
Master
for
Doctor,
grabs? I wish to sleep.
Mr. Master Doctor Him, I will absolutely be back at some point. You must teach me how to make a piano with my brain.
It's a bit more complicated than that, but I'm perfectly happy to at least teach you some of the basics, or at least try to instruct you.
I assure you, there is no such thing as too complicated for me.
Well, thank you, Julie says. Thank you, Doctor. We'll be on our way. Appreciate the hospitality as always. Thank you, Julie. I'll see you at practice tomorrow. Yes, Doctor.
Very well then. Let's proceed.
Thank you.
Come you.
Let's go.
Is everybody actually leaving?
Yes.
Yes.
You four are agents of chaos. I can't assume anything right now. Okay. We move it back out into harm's way.
And I
I
just
mean,
pulled a
basically,
tick.
what's that? Sorry.
Give me a moment. I just pulled a tick off my neck.
Another one?
that's
You just had one yesterday.
Fun.
Or the other day. Maybe it wasn't yesterday. You told me about it yesterday.
You know, the other day I had one in my ear.
Oh. Ick.
No, luckily it's a wood tick. It's a wood tick, not a deer tick. That's good. Rocky Mountain spotted fever instead of Lyme disease.
All ticks are terrible. I hate them. Why do they exist?
Good question.
You know, he's a done deal now.
Okay. So you come upon. So you're walking up to this. I mean, from this perspective, it's like a 3-story tower. Again, like very old cobblestone mason work. It's a very old wooden door is up on it. And she goes, "Well, I think I'll leave you here." She pounds on the door. Visitors! Calling in visitors. Well, nice to see. Hopefully I'll see you at the tavern tonight. Make your way down. And she points to building number 9, just down the hill here. She's like, make sure you make your way to the inn before the evening falls, because it's like, I don't know, 3. It's getting to late afternoon at this point. She's like, enjoy, and she heads on back to her own house. Oops. So, okay. So as you
Tick off my neck. Check yourself for ticks. The mirror in the bathroom.
fucking so before I go, before I switch maps, the door opens and you are met. So the door opens and you see inside a rather dark stone room with some candles. You are greeted by this person. She's like,
what person?
Did it not go? Show. Is her picture not showing up?
No.
Why is her picture not showing up?
I don't know.
Save. Show.
Well, there you go.
Oh wow.
See River Glimmer.
So you see what looks like a 10-year-old girl opens the door. Like she's maybe, I mean, she's probably Babbitt's height. She opens the door. You see her wearing, I mean, you see the description, you saw the picture of her with the gauntlets. She's holding a cauldron in one hand. Like a full-size, I don't know, 30-gallon, like
Is she, like,
cauldron.
severely struggling with it, or
No, she's holding it with one hand. And opens the door and she's like, "Hello? Who are you? River, get over here with the cauldron! Just give me a second." Wait, that was the wrong accent. Hold on.
Julie sent us, but now all I want to do is wear their gloves.
Yeah, please, come on in. And she walks in. She beckons you into the tower. Visitors? There we go. That's the accent I meant to say. Where's my? Here we go. You are.
Map is large. We're in the bottom left.
Yes, you are all crammed into the bottom right corner. Ooh, new people? You hear from the corner, and there is a orc in a chef's hat. And this is the picture the closest thing I could come to find of him. Let's see, tell me if that came up.
No.
All right, hold on.
One thing I know for sure, I'm not hungry.
Why? Where's? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Save. All right, did that come up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm not hungry.
So she brings over as you walk in. So you feel like you've walked into a kitchen. I mean, the picture's fairly accurate. You've got a whole bunch of vials and different things scattered over here. All kinds of different vegetables, beets, things that are seemingly odd colors, and a bunch of other what looks like, I don't know, fruits, vegetables. She plops the cauldron over in this corner here. And the half-orc goes, "Thank you." Grabbing a bunch of instruments, and then you.
Ooh.
So, Babbage,
Yes.
actually all of you make a perception check. As he, excuse, are you going down the stairs there, Bellarmine?
I thought those were up the stairs.
Or I'm sorry, you're going up the stairs.
Yeah.
Excuse me, please come back here, River. Yeah, hold on, sir. Can you please stop walking around our house? Just stay here a moment. We don't have any idea who you are. Clearly, you're not terrible if they let you in the walls, but still. Who's hungry? All right.
My apologies. I stand mouth agape, marveling at your kitchen.
So as this is all happening, or as this conversation's happening, he's got the cauldron in front of him. You see him do the motions to cast the spell, and water appears. And Kanadin, you notice as he's doing that there are crystals. There's 4. I think the word is sconces. There's 4
wall sconces.
Yeah, there's 4 wall sconces.
These things.
Yeah, on the. I mean, those are pretty accurate. Basically on the corner points of the compass, northwest, northeast, southeast. There's wall sconces with blue mana-looking crystals about this big. That when he casts his spell, they glow and vibrate.
I look at the mana crystal in my bag.
You're the only person that sees this is Kanan.
Oh, damn. All right, fair enough.
As he's casting the spell, you see them glow and vibrate for a second, and then actually, hold on. You notice 3 of 4 of them glow and vibrate. The one to the northeast doesn't. As Cognin seems to just manifest water inside this cauldron and then also similar to what you've seen you do, like creates basically like a flame underneath it and starts just throwing random ingredients into this thing.
So,
Cognan, feed you,
upon
yes.
upon seeing this, I kind of walk over to Babbage and kind of like rib him. Like, hey,
Oh yes.
did you see what happened? Did you happen to catch
Uh,
that?
I saw him create water and start cooking.
Yeah, these three sconces, the crystals, they shook. They flared and shook, but not that one over there. Pointing to the one that didn't.
They flared? Did they flare? What color are they right now?
Blue.
Blue crystals flared and shook. Cast magic. Now I pull out my bag. My crystal for my bag.
um. So River looks like River walks past you as you're doing this, and looks like she's trying to pick up a bunch of ingredients off this table and sees the mana crystal, and she's like, "Whoa, Cognan! You know I don't like being interrupted when I want to cook for guests. What do you?" Turns around, looks at the mana crystal, is like, "Oh, yes, me make very good food. You stay for dinner, yes? We talked about this. What's to discuss?"
Very well then. I'd be happy to talk to you more about what's going on here. And I'll even sample whatever you're cooking.
Yes, very good. So he, please have a seat. They're not. I mean, there are several chairs. River, could you, Stream? Could you please get more chairs? Yes, Cognan. And you see her. I don't actually have a good representation of this, but there's actually stairs that go down. Actually, like, where would they? Actually, like this arrow that's pointing this direction is also stairs that go down.
What are these yellow things that you've added on the map?
Doors.
Okay.
So this is the door you came in. This is another door that leads out. There's a stairwell that is basically here that goes down. You see River disappear down that stairwell. And Cognan just seems to be just throwing like, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to what he's doing. He's just
Sure.
like throwing random stuff in. Like,
I mean, as a tinker, I appreciate the experimentation, so I'm not really thrown.
very good. What's everybody else doing? You, what are you up to?
Smelling, sampling, taking little bites.
Okay.
You have the mushrooms.
It's all. I mean, you would identify most of it. And I mean, none of it seems to be completely like weird or bizarre, out of the ordinary. Kanadin, what are you up to?
Observing, trying to figure out. I want to watch what Babbage is doing and try to figure out, what is going to get us out of this place the fastest.
Okay. Bellarmine, are you wandering up the stairs again?
I'm looking down the steps.
Are you
No,
looking?
looking down the stairs this time to see what happens. Well, there's stairs that go down and stairs that go up, right?
There are, yes. It's like the stairs basically like go along the east side. They.
I'm looking down the stairs to see if I can see what's going on because somebody just went down there.
So you can here. I'm gonna move you. You're looking into. Hold on. I'm moving you to the top right corner of the map. You're looking into this space. You can kind of see a bed, as well as like a rug. Rather open portion of the map, or just sort of like a very open, wide space here. But yeah, it looks like so like a journal over here with some notes, and then dressers, some rather small dressers, and a small little kitchen sink here. But you don't see anybody else, and the stairs continue to go down in another level over here.
It looks like my icon disappeared off the sheet.
You're in the upper right. You have to like zoom out and then move the map to the upper right of the map,
Yeah, if you right click, you can move the map
past
around.
the blackness.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
so I put you over there because you were poking your head that way.
I'm looking down the stairs, right, and that's what I see.
Yes. You're basically
Okay.
seeing into this room, and the stairs continue down
What's
further
in-
to another floor.
What's in the center?
It's just a carpet.
Just a carpet, because it looks like it's got some symbols on it.
It's just it looks like it, from what you can tell, it looks like just a simple decorative carpet on the middle of a stone floor.
And it's like a chair, a table, and a book.
Yeah, it looks like someone may have been taking notes over here, or a journal of some kind, perhaps.
Can we go look at the book, or is that going to violate people's
You could do whatever you want.
I'm gonna go over and look at that book.
Okay. So you wander into the room and you're now looking through what appears to be some very nice handwriting, and it's you pick it up and you quickly realize that it's a diary. Like you see like the words "Dear Diary" on the top, and it seems to be like day 744. Today I had to do with more errands involving Cogden's crazy chemistry sets and various different cooking paraphernalia. While you're doing that,
flip back as far as I can to the beginning to see if I can see how that particular individual ended up on the island.
all right, that's going to take you a hot minute. Kanan, what are you up to?
Looking around at the tables to see if I notice anything that I haven't seen, like any foods that I've never encountered before.
What's that round thing on the bed?
A throw pillow. Let's see.
Oh, so this is not a guy's room.
I will let you interpret that however you choose. Kanan, roll an investigation for me.
Roger, I'm coming up. You did investigation?
Yeah. So you come across, you see some potatoes that just look weird colors. A green carrot and like a whole bunch of bananas that are red. So like foods that you seem to recognize, but some of them are just odd colors. Specifically over on the northern table. What are you doing? Waiting patiently? Still sampling? Okay. Cogden actually will hand you a couple of things. Some of the things that you eat, especially the ones that he'll hand you one of those red bananas. Do you eat it?
Of course.
Okay. It has a surprising amount of heat. It's spicy, which combined with the banana, I will let you determine how you would choose to think that tastes.
I ever eaten spicy food? I don't think I would have.
I guess I don't know. Do peppers grow in the forest? I'm not really. I suppose not. It's more like a desert thing.
Yeah.
Let's say no. Let's say this is your first experience with the spicy food.
Oh, this. Oh, you. Water.
Oh, right. No, you need milk for this man. River.
I'm gonna give about 5 seconds before I create water and put this out.
So he's all right. It takes the 5 seconds while he's.
So this is perfect. While Cogden's distracted trying to get him milk, I'm adding my own input into whatever he's cooking.
You're just throwing things in.
I'm gonna use my cook's utensils skills to do my best to assist in his cooking.
Please roll for that. Okay. All right. We'll see how that goes. Well, that happened. All right. So where'd you go? So you, Bellarmine, as you're wandering down the stairs, you bump into River coming back up. Excuse me, please go back upstairs. You don't want to come down here. On that,
Why?
well, so as you say that, you hear.
I missed that.
Did that not come across the microphone?
No.
You hear a low guttural, something between a roar and a grunt come from down the stairs.
Oh,
She's
I've
like,
got to go.
What did you say? Sorry?
I've got to go check that out.
Please, just let me. If you want to come downstairs, I will happily take you. But please don't just wander around our home. That's rude. she takes the chair.
That's rude.
Please come with me. As she just continues to go up the stairs. Are you following Bellarmine, or what are you doing?
Well, I wanted to look at the beginnings of that book.
The diary that you were
Yeah,
already looking into that you discovered was a diary?
Right, but he said that I had to wait a while before I could see the beginning because that would take a while.
Well, and then I came back and you were on the stairs. So I don't know if did you leave? Were you still? Did you imagine you were still at the diary, or were you wandering around?
And I was waiting to see if anybody was going to come up so I could go look at the book again.
Oh well, okay. So you came, checked, and yes, she had in fact came up. All right. So River comes up with 2 more chairs, drops them at the edge, runs over to the corner, gets water. At this point, you've already created water, I think. Yeah, it's been more than 5 seconds. So you just how much water do you put in your mouth, just for artistic
10
purposes?
gallons.
10? Like
2 Home Depot 5-gallon pails of water.
That's how much I can make.
so you
Two of those.
put this
You have to-
much
I just
water.
happen to have.
The outside. I'm on a floating island where I can't leave.
I love it.
I can't wild shape into a bird. Which
I
I'm
love
pretty
that Mike
bummed
just
about.
had those
I
nearby.
have 2 buckets.
Then I get all these
What?
tentacles.
Hang on, let me try this. 2 igloo coolers worth of water.
All right, hold on. Everybody's talking over each other. Jeff, what were
I
you
just
saying?
wanted to see if you had coolers.
So basically, I'm just so out of my element at this point, and I've never had the experience of using my druidic magic and having it have this weird backfire effect.
Okay.
I'm just everything's over the top. I'm I go into a town where I'm told I can't leave, but I was free to enter. Then I go into a house where I'm told make yourself at home, but no, you can't stay in the bed. Right? Then I'm asked if I have any musical talent, and kind of get scoffed at by the snooty tiefling. So yeah. Then I get handed what I think is a strawberry banana, and no, it's a fiery red pepper.
It's fire.
Just
I love
But
this.
But
Jeff.
when I was over inside the beehives, I did get a jar of honey.
yes. Oh, and the bees are unusually calm, and that really bothers me.
So you made this much water.
Yes.
Okay. Dealing with consequences. Hello, Dungeons and Dragons.
I love
So you where do you create this? Give me an image. I want to understand exactly what's happening. Because I mean,
So-
clearly that can't fit inside your mouth.
Well, no, point of order. So for this spell, it sounds like I'm instantaneously creating this, but then it says nothing about manipulating that water afterwards, right? So
Right. You're just
Or
you're
no, hold on,
manifest.
hold on. Let me link this.
Okay.
But basically, I'm wondering, I don't get to create, like, if I'm creating it in.
You're not creating a container full of water. You're just
So I don't have an open
manifesting
container in front of me. So basically,
a volume
I guess
of
I'm
water.
making it rain right now. Because it says you create up to 10 gallons of clean water within range in an open container. It sounds like
Okay. In an open container is the text that matters here. You
Yeah.
can only create it inside of something that exists.
So if I don't have an open container right in front of me, then I'm just gonna make it start to rain inside.
I mean,
That's
if you
that's the
wanted,
alternative.
I would argue that like an open mouth is a container, so you could just manifest water in your
That's
mouth.
true.
And
But-
it says up to 10 gallons. You wouldn't have to do all 10. If that's what you want to do. If you want to make it rain, you can make it
Yeah.
rain.
You do what you would do.
Yeah.
What would I do there? No, I would make it rain because I'm a druid and the elements are what I'm most comfortable with, even if I'm inside. So
Less of a rain, more of a bucket of water where the bucket disappears. And then it just falls.
that's kind of how I saw it, but because it's like you instantly create the water.
You could argue that the room we're in is the container you're creating this water in.
And then that's what we'll do. Okay.
I was going to say that it was open and it's a container.
All right, so you're creating just literally 10 gallons of water overhead and letting it fall on everything.
Centered on me, yes.
Mike, imagine that there are 2 5-gallon pails of water over his head, and he's got his mouth open to drink it, and then he snaps the pails away.
Just ice
that
bucket.
amount of water
he
just
he just ice bucket challenges this with water, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That happens.
Okay. So you are all right. So
Is that like waterboarding?
Part of it. I mean, halfway there.
You need a towel, I think.
Owl and
Alright,
be held
so-
upside down.
10 gallons of water appears over Yu's head, and some of it gets in his mouth, soaks the man through. The rest of it splashes all over the floor. Cognan, well, okay, all of you are, I mean, clearly, I imagine, surprised by this.
Sure.
Oh, no,
Well, except-
in another room.
Bellarmine's in
You're
the other,
downstairs. You don't even know this happened.
yeah, Bellarmine doesn't know this happened. I mean, you hear
Well,
what
there's
sounds
water
like a
down the
bucket of
stairs.
water spilling.
There's water running down the stairs, right?
Maybe.
Meh, I mean, it would spread out maybe a little bit, depending how far it went. I'm not going to argue. For now, not yet. Because for now, like, so Cognan's like, oh, what is this? Canadin and Bellarmine, or not, sorry, Canadin and Babbage make perception checks.
Yeah. Now that I'm, well, I didn't see him cast the spell, but I'm certainly on edge if I do notice spell casting.
Yeah. Well, you have your mana crystal out still, yes? Or did you put it away?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay, so Babbage, as he creates this water, you're kind of, I mean, it immediately attracts your attention, but at the same time, as he casts the spell, the mana crystal, and you notice this happens in sync with the 3 sconces on the northwest, southwest, and southeast corners.
Northwest,
All
southwest,
and southeast corners, yep.
southeast. Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. It's no. Yeah, we'll say all 3 and your mana crystal, like glow. The mana crystal just kind of glows for about half a second when he casts the
Oh.
spell, and then goes dark again. The 3 mana crystals on the walls seem to like vibrate and jingle in their sconces and glow for a second, for about half a second as well, and then they go dark again. That happens sort of in an instant. At the same
Are there
time, the
any-
water's going everywhere.
Adverse effects from the spell cast that I can notice.
I've explained everything that you have seen so far outside of
Okay.
there's now water splashing all over the floor. You soaked. Cognan's like, hey, what is this? Why did you that? And he starts casting.
And then I start shaking like a dog would shake off after they get wet.
So,
So everybody's wet now, with water just splashing all over the place.
You stop, please. You. This
River-
is not how civilized people act. In
River
civilized
grabs-
civilization.
River grabs like a towel. As he's splashing, you're like trying to cover your eyes, but you also notice the mana crystal's glowing because Cognan is now casting prestidigitation like over and over and over again to clean up the mess that he just made. So your spell, like it's he's cast like you see him casting spells
I
in
didn't
the.
mean to cast that. I just wanted to look at it.
That's fine. You see him casting spells to like clean up the like giant spill that is now all of that's covering the place. And you see them all the same mana crystals in yours all like glowing and vibrating almost for like an instant. Even quicker than the
Wild.
create water spell.
Everybody relax. Everybody calm down. I've got questions.
You must tend to dinner. Oh wait, please. So he's tending to that. He's still throwing stuff into the pot that's now boiling at this point.
Is it boiling over?
No. It's not that high. River's basically still trying to mop up at the same time. Cognan realizes, or she stands up and then realizes that, or kind of looks around and then wanders down like you see her bolt on down the stairs. Sir, I told you not to go down into the. What are you doing? Excuse me?
That's you, Dad.
Yep. And here we go.
Please, if you could, Describe to
He
me.
takes a book and he goes like this. I'm hiding.
So I'm gonna guess you try to. Tell me if this is not what you want to do, but this is what I'm imagining now. You dive to try to hide behind the bed. Is that?
Yeah, and
Because it's like the
I
only piece of
slipped
cover you
another
have.
book- and I've slipped another book in place of that one.
Okay. Like,
So I
so
can
she.
read.
Hold on. I need to get her character sheet out now. I'm glad I did this.
I want to see what's in this book. That might have clues of how they got there. And
All right, so I will pause for a second. So there was you got about a good 20, 30 seconds of time to look through her book before all that happened. Let's see. No, that's all she's got. Okay. So you tried to flip all the way to the front of the journal, right? So in the amount of, as you got to the front of the book, it says like, it looks like sometimes she's putting in entries like every day. Sometimes it's like a month goes by. It's not very consistent. And it's mostly just like, and as you get, it starts, the beginning of the book stops around like day 500. So you don't actually have like, and that seems to be like, we have recently moved into the tower. But it, like the diary doesn't go past, like that's the quick notes you can get out of it before she has then come downstairs and you've tried to switch books and jumped behind the bed.
so we'll switch them back, and I'll explain to her that everything's fine.
I
Okay,
appreciate that you're using your skills.
all right. All right. Give me where's. Wait, how do I roll? Oh, I've got the gear on. All right, hold on. Do I have? Yeah, no. Okay. All right, so she doesn't let you leave, or at least she's not letting you walk past her without. She's like, all right, no, like, so she sees you dive behind the bed. She walks over. You stand up. It sounds like you try to switch the book out again in front of her. Hold on. Let's do this. Oh wait, no. It
Rogue, you ain't.
21:19. Okay. So she notices you switching out the book. She's like, "What are you doing with my personal stuff? Who taught you how to walk to people's houses and just read their diaries? Get out!" And she like starts to physically shove you, and she like the hands move you with very little. Right. So what are you trying to say to persuade her? Out of curiosity.
Everything's fine. I just wanted to see if there's any information that would help us get out of here.
Have you ever thought of asking people? I should throw you to Cuddles, and she just shoves you up the stairs. All right, we're gonna put us both back over to here. Condon, he was going through my stuff. I'm sorry. He was just rummaging through my diary. Why did you have it unlocked? And she just storms off.
Phenomenal.
And you see her storm off downstairs. And you just hear and you hear another like low rumble, and like then a loud. About 30 seconds later, you hear like a low growl, and you hear like a really loud growl coming from below.
You hear that?
Oh yeah.
Captain, what in the Samuel was that?
Oh, that's River's pet Cuddles. Don't worry about her. Let me feed you.
Cuddles the what?
She's a pet. With that, he takes a bowl of. He basically like sets you all. He tries to maneuver you all to the table to sit you all down.
All right, yes, fine.
I don't know if everybody agrees to actually sit.
Sure. Yeah, I'll sit and eat. I already said I would.
He
Anything
takes the
gives me
bowl.
more information.
He takes a bowl of. He had 6 bowls. He sets one aside. Pulls one, like basically fills something, puts one in front of you, gives you all spoons. Well, no, hold on. He takes a bowl out, and then he takes one of his vials, sort of looks at you, Bellarmine, caps it, unpops it. It's got like a blue tint to it. Shuffles. It looks like some sort of weird like spice. It looks like salt that's like an aquamarine glue that's got a bit of a glitter to it. So he like shakes that into your bowl and hands it to you. He takes another bowl that's out of the grog, takes another cap that's got sort of like a red, almost was it turmeric? What's that word? Turmeric consistency. Shakes that into a bowl and hands it to you. He grabs another same situation, but this one's green, with more of like almost like an oregano kind of consistency. Almost looks like a bunch of spices in a thing. Hands that to Canadian, and then he just takes the normal bowl, sniffs it once without adding anything to it, and hands that to the tinker. He says, "Please consume, eat, enjoy." And then he grabs his own bowl, takes like 4 or 5 different things, and like shakes them all into the bowl. You see like a puff of smoke, possibly some flame. You're not really sure. Like it glowed for a second and then dies off. And then he sits down at his table. Please, sir, looking at you, Bellarmine, if you would like to say some words before we begin our meal. River dinner!
And I said, happy to bless everybody, but as I said before, I'm not hungry.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I shrug and start eating. All right.
I will like do my best professional food taster impression to really try and understand what is in this dish to the best of whatever my ability to do that is.
Roll an investigation and a performance for me.
All right, this is my investigation and this is my performance.
So, okay. You think you look very professional with the way that you are consuming your bowl of just like it just tastes like it almost like you're kind of looking at it. To you, you're a little confused, and you think that the only things that you taste are the stuff that you added. Like otherwise, it just seems extraordinarily bland. You're like, what? He put like 30 things in this. Why does it have no taste? You're more than anything. You're just confused.
Sure.
Kaedin, as you eat your stew, it almost is as if like it's a cacophony of meats. Like you taste sausages and bacon and some like veal. Like it's weird. Like it's stew, but like as you like chew into some of the bits of it, it's like you're biting down into meat, and it's like, all right.
I very much enjoy it.
take one sip, and you have the same spicy feeling that you had times 10.
Vindaloo.
And I'm just running around looking for the nearest container of liquid to put it out the fire because it's
That would be the bowl of stew.
doing it.
You just like dunking your head in there?
No, I'm gonna pick it up and or if there's a ladle or anything nearby.
Yeah, there's ladles.
You're gonna put fire with fire?
You're drinking straight from the cauldron.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, got it. All right, yeah, that stuff seems extraordinarily bland, but you can barely tell because the heat is just persistent. To which Cogden's sort of like smiling at himself, like, that's the good stuff, yeah. And you almost see like fire coming out of his ears because it's like, that's the good stuff. Here, you try this. He grabs the bowl that is in front of Bellarmine. He's not touching it. Passes it to you and says, here, try this. To you.
To me?
Yeah, he's handing you the bowl that Bellarmine had to, like, try this, that's out.
Yeah, I swig it.
So you chug it. it's extraordinarily sweet. Like it's like cream soda. Like it's just like it's almost overpowering how sweet it is. It's like a cake that's too rich. Like a vanilla cake that's just too rich, but it does neutralize the heat immediately.
What did you do to you?
That's just some poltergeist pepper with a little bit of sugarcane sweetness added with some magical textures of my own special personal design.
Please, I will cook for you. You don't cook for you.
Very well. I can. You do. Okay. He just kind of looks at you confused and continues.
It's fine. You will cook for you. You don't cook for you.
Thank you.
Also looks kind of looks at Babbage confused.
I go back to picking at mushrooms and other things that I'm aware of what they actually are.
Okay, fair enough. There's another little guttural growl from the bowels of the tower. All right.
So now
hold
that
on,
we're
before
dining, I have
Bellarmine,
questions.
what are you doing? You don't seem to be sitting at the table.
No, I'm standing by the door because I didn't know what was going on with all this food and afraid something might blow up.
Ah, okay. Well, okay. You've seen everything transpire. You're just waiting. You're just standing and waiting by the door at this point.
Just standing and waiting by the door, hoping to get up those stairs without anybody catching me.
Okay. So as you eat through your meals, there isn't that much stew. I mean, Cogden could very clearly see you, Bellarmine, by the way. So if you're trying to be stealthy, you're gonna have to roll. So are you trying to go up the stairs now?
Well, I'm working my way there.
So, Cogden, now that we've enjoyed your food under your roof, I would very much like to. What are the chances?
So you go to go up the stairs, and like as you put your hand on a railing, it just kind of breaks under the weight. Clearly, like no, like it's just been there. Like you realize like no one's actually used it because everybody else probably knew it was like not well put together. To Cognition looks over like please don't wander up into my library. I would appreciate you just please come have a seat. I want to enjoy your company. I like new people. So
Library, hey?
yes, but please after the meal, I will happily escort you. Please come sit down.
So anyway, Cogden, as I was saying.
Hold on, is Robert? He's waiting for Robert to sit down. Well, you can keep talking, but he's waiting for Robert to sit down.
Yeah.
Which he's not doing.
I noticed that
okay.
Since we've landed here, and I go through the whole backstory, so I explain,
yep.
Where we came from, and the airship, and the mana crystal. I show my mana crystal, and I say, we're all spellcasters of sorts, but every time we seem to use magic, as I'm sure you're well aware, some unforeseen circumstances always seem to follow. But I've noticed that the spells that you've been casting here have not had any, malfeasance associated with them, but those mana crystal-looking torches around your room have been guttering and flickering whenever you cast spells. Would it be safe to assume that the mana crystals have a property by which they absorb the negative effects that are being caused by spells being cast upon this island? And I would love to know more about the mysteries as to why that's occurring.
You, my friend, are very astute. I, in my studies, have also discovered that the mana crystals seem to, from what I've been able to gather, and if you can't understand me, tell me, and I'll switch out of the accent. But
from what I've been able to gather,
well, here, actually, I'll just explain this for folks that maybe don't understand this in Dungeons and Dragons speak. So in D&D, and all your characters would have some. Well, actually, you wouldn't, but I guess the other three of you would have some understanding of this. Well, here, no, I'll just go to this as if he's lecturing. So, as you are well aware, magic comes from the weave, which passes through us at all times and is permeating the world in all things. For some reason, the weave on this island is broken, unstable, erratic. It does not follow its normal patterns. But when you have the properly attuned crystals of mana, they seem to stabilize any manipulation of the weave around them. Your mana crystal must be stabilizing everything that's been happening, at least somewhat close to it. I couldn't say how far around, but my guess is some magic around you has been okay and others have not.
Yes, exactly. I hadn't realized it was a proximity thing.
Anybody that's been near you for magic has been okay. Which is why you see these, and he points at the sconces on the walls. I have these throughout my tower so that it's safe to use magic in here. Outside the tower, no go.
Question: does the size of the mana crystal make any effect, or is it just a matter of having one in proximity?
The size makes the most. It does make a difference with size, but it is very difficult. I have yet to find many more as large as the ones I have in the corner, and
So compare the size for me of the wall sconces crystals to my mana crystal.
the wall sconces are about maybe like a third or a quarter of the size of yours. But he's quick to point out it's not just those. And he actually like points under the table. There's another one that's like mounted underneath the center of the table, and like there's ones actually in the bottom. Like he points out there's ones at the bottom of each of the tables too.
I see, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. What is the relative area of effect of any individual mana crystal?
The small ones I've seen only have about 5 to 10 feet. So I try to cast my magic somewhat close to them when I can. But they do tend to resonate when they tend to resonate with each other and expand an area when there is more of them together.
Another question. Do the mana crystals stabilize magics from their caster source or from the area of effect of the spell?
Say that one more time?
So what I'm trying to ascertain is, let's say I can cast a spell that occurs 60 feet away from me. Because I'm casting it, would a mana crystal on my person stabilize it, or would the mana crystal need to be in the area of the effect of the spell? Like what?
The source.
The source.
Would be the person, yes. You can cast a spell 60 feet away. Excuse me, sir? Can you please come back to the table?
Oh.
Yeah, sir, please come back to the table. Well, hold on. We can roll this. Give me a second. I gotta pull out his character sheet now.
Hang on. My internet had a little hiccup, and now like your audio and the video are all disjointed.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh no, we're back to normal. Okay. I had another question, if you don't mind.
Perception is... Oh, I didn't give him any. That's alright. Okay. Alright, Bellarmine, you managed to get up the stairs. Where are you?
A couple more questions, if you don't mind. A, where could we locate additional mana crystals? Where did you find the ones that you have? And B, do you think if we couldn't find any additional crystals, this one here, I might be able to split and distribute among my companions so that we could all cast freely without concern?
Give me 1 second. Okay. So Bellarmine, you come up the stairs to about here, and you are presented with rows and like 3 different rows of what looks like a fully stacked library of shelves of books.
And I start looking through them.
Okay, we'll come back to you on that. You want to know if you can break up your mana crystal? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, well, a few questions. First, is this mana crystal special in his, surmising, or is it just a mana crystal? If it's not special, does he think it's large enough that if I were to quarter it and give one to each of us, we could then cast freely with stabilization because we had a crystal on our person?
Yep. So I would need a moment to study that crystal, but I know that when that big and when that well cut is extraordinarily rare. So please do not break it apart. In fact, that, and he sort of like thinks. You see him think for a second. He goes, wait, I wonder. I have to do some reading, but that may be the thing we need to get us off this island, or at least get the island out of the sky.
Very interesting. I would say that this was powering the engine of an airship, which was we were traveling upon before our arrival to this island. And it was something the Sky Pirates were trying to steal and seek. But we were able to thwart the theft, and I was able to manage to keep hold of it.
Wait, you had Sky Pirates after that specifically?
Yes, one went invisible and boarded our ship and tried to make off with it, but we were able to thwart it.
River! River! Please come up here! After about 30 seconds, and if anybody else wants to say something while you hear River sort of trouncing up the stairs. Where'd I put her? Okay, so while this is all happening, Kanadin, what are you doing? Just happily listening?
Happily listening. I'm eating my stew and just kind of watching this whole thing go down.
Now that your taste buds have been assaulted, what are you doing?
Recovering, sitting, just kind of taking it in. I'm very overwhelmed by this place.
That's understandable. Okay.
What I know, which is products of the forest.
Gotcha. So River comes up the stairs. She's like, Cognitive, what do you... Pauses. Where's the old man? What? Where did he go? What? Was he downstairs? No, but he was going through my diary. Can you get him down? Get him. Can you go find him, please? And after you find him, tell Dr. Hammond that Sky Pirates are after our new friends, so they can bolster up the guards. Can I sit down for dinner? This is important now. Like, you're just frustrated and like this stomping up the stairs. Like this is mumbling to yourself like this is so stupid.
Have I determined that this is actually a 10-year-old girl or just a humanoid the size of a 10-year-old girl?
She seems to be a mature for her age, but still a 10-year-old girl. Like maybe 13, but
Gotcha.
a young girl. So Bellarmine, you now hear stomping coming up the stairs on the far side of the room. Are you enjoying and reading? Just
I'm sitting in a big fat easy chair reading and reading.
all right. So stomp, 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 stomp. She kind of looks down this way, looks over here. Like, sir, what do you have? Is there a particular subject that you would be going after, Bellarmine? Out of curiosity.
I'm trying to find out if there's any information that could help us understand where these people came from and why they're stuck here.
Okay. All right. This is what we're gonna do. You stumble across. I don't know if this is gonna. If this shows to. Tell me if this shows to everybody or just you, Bellarmine.
Infamous for its most affluent.
Yes. All right. So yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna pause on you. I'm gonna let you take time to read that because this is what you came across. I'm gonna say you had time to read all this. While this has all been happening, you've been going up the stairs. Okay. Back to the table. So that particular crystal, when put in, I think when also aligned with, if we can find magical items that exist around the island to empower it even further, may be able to stabilize the reef of the whole island, or at least large enough to encompass a airship so that we can all leave.
Interesting, because like I said, it did power an airship. Are you suggesting that the airship had similar magic items, or is it just a coincidence of the design of the engine?
No, the mana crystal was only being used to power the engine itself, but off the island, the mana crystal did not need to stabilize the weave being in utter chaos everywhere.
Sure.
So if we can increase the output of the magic going into this crystal, we may be able to make it big enough to stabilize a big enough piece to fly away.
And you said with specific magic items. Are you aware of what these magic items are, where they may be?
It doesn't. I have some inkling. I don't. I'd have to go into my book some more. There's a map of the island down in what's his name? Grimbeard's blacksmith shop. Grimbeard's smithy we can use as a reference for different places. I don't happen to have pictures here. It's mostly just words in the books and libraries I have upstairs. Not much of a cartographer myself.
I am a bit of a cartographer. I'd be happy to look at it.
So you need
I love being able to say that about everything.
I am a bit of fill in the blank.
Yeah.
All right. Bellarmine, have you managed to read the whole thing yet? You have.
Yep, and I'm going to come downstairs and ask the orc if he knows anything about Revac.
All right. So what I'll say is, as River was coming up the stairs, you were now coming down. She's like, "What? Can you please? Why are you wandering around people's houses? Like, what? Did civilization fall apart while we've been on this island? This is crazy." I was told that people had manners. It's just utterly flummoxed. Stomps down the stairs, just is utterly done, and just storms out of the house or storms out of the tower, and slams the door behind. She slams the door behind her, and the door imagine a 300-pound linebacker slamming a door. It shakes on its hinges and you almost feel like the whole tower and then in another small roar from below, just
and I completely ignore that all, and I turn to the orc and say, "Tell me about Revac."
Revac? Oh, you mean Revik? Ah, yes. One of the more. We believe that my theory is that this is his island. The name Revik is a figure of history in this world that Kanadin and Babbage would know about, and I wouldn't. Well, and you've been traveling for a while, so you may have even heard of him as well. What did I just?
Can I reveal what I learned?
You can. That is your knowledge. You can reveal as much as you want. I can, if you want, you can explain it all, or you can. I don't know if you brought the page with you and you can show it. I don't. However you want to do this.
I want to explain it to the other guys.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, I found this book, and it's very interesting. And in the book, explains a lot of what happened. Located in the center of this large sea, the Crescent Isle was initially a safe place for budding wizards and sorcerers to learn their trade and test out experimental magic. The discovery of the largest veins of mana crystals known at the time meant the world suddenly paid much more attention to the small ports that had been set up to support the sprinkling of wizard schools on the island. It wasn't long before more infrastructure came with ports built up to support the coming of miners and the transporting of mana ore. And I learned from this book the town sprung up to support not only the mana and the miners, but a coal mine. It was also discovered along with towns to support the garrisons built to defend the island from pirates and countries outside the North Treaty members of the kingdom. For decades, the island prospered, buoyed on the ore of the mines and the research and development that came from a sudden increase in the amount of mana in the world, but it didn't last. Revik. The name needs no introduction. No man has had more influence on the course of history. Origins are still a mystery to this day. What is known is that he practiced hidden arts on the island in secret, eventually eradicating all his teachers in ways no one survived to share, and used his dark arts to take control of the island's mana for himself. Before news of this reached across the sea, Revik's armies struck out from the island as malevolent mana-infused forces appeared at random throughout the world, terrorizing all in equal measure. It wasn't until all the kingdoms, the tribes, and the peoples of the world banded together to stop him at the source that the attacks were finally subdued. What happened next, no one can say for sure. After many years of bloodshed, Revik was facing defeat against the largest fleet ever put into the sea. For one cause, the island simply vanished. The ensuing chaos and loss of mana led directly into years of the mana wars that followed. It took 30 years for that on-again, off-again conflict to finally abate by a peace that was eventually brokered between the northern kingdoms and the southern isles. It's been over 100 years since the island vanished, with nothing but a whirlpool left in its wake.
So most of that is history that your characters kind of knew, or at least knew parts and pieces of. The name Revik is.
So it just
infamous.
hit me like a ton of bricks that I'm not on some random floating island. I'm on the thought to be lost forever Crescent Isle.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, that's a hell of a thing.
I don't feel so discombobulated now.
Oh, that's
Like,
good.
I know I should be, but I'm like, oh, it's normal to be this off.
Never mind. Do you realize what you've just discovered?
Mm-hmm.
You know where we are?
That's why I was sneaking around.
Well, I don't particularly agree with
I
your
would
tactics.
appreciate it
I
if you would
certainly
not-
appreciate the information you've devised for us. So, Cogniton,
There's
were
a
you
whole
aware that this
library
was the
up there.
Crescent Isle?
Yes, that is. I mean, that's some of the notes that I have upstairs. So
You,
this,
you
this,
think you might mention that to travelers who arrive in your town to sort of like, hey, welcome to Harm's Way. By the way, you're on the Crescent Isle.
well, we tend to try to break people in slowly because it is rather devastating news. And just for your and just so you understand, for your knowledge, this tower that we're currently in was one of the old wizard schools that were used to treat, that were used to teach people. In fact, this was, what did I put on that signpost? Hold on. This was
Older's Tower.
Uldor the Curious's Tower. One of the several teachers that supposedly taught Revik, or whatever it
Babbage
used to be
smacks
called.
his forehead, now realizing who Uldor is.
Yeah.
I need a quick break.
Okay. Oh, and actually, you know what? It's 11 o'clock. I think that's a fantastic place to leave on, actually. So you all should have.
What a bombshell.
That should all be on your character sheets now, or at least on your screens. I added it to everybody's, so you can reference
Yeah.
that as you will. There is one typo. So yeah, he just. It's pronounced Revik. Crescent Isle. I should have thrown Uldor's name in here in retrospect, but yeah, there's your plot bomb.
Well, now we have our marching orders. Scour the island for magical items in order to power my very intricate and unique mana crystal to bring the Crescent Isle back down to the mainland.
Oh, I totally. You know what? I forgot. Oh, what's it called? Give me 1 second. Oh, dang it. This is gonna bug me. I had this joke lined up and I completely forgot about it. This is killing me. No,
Hey, any activity in chat today?
dang it. Oh well. That's what it was. I completely forgot. I was gonna have Cognin take a look at your mana crystal and go, I think this is called a MacGuffin. But I lost the moment. That lost the momentum there. Okay.
I appreciate it.
I meant to say that as soon as he walked in. Any questions for me, or any questions for me before we sign off for the evening? Things that are pending on you. I don't know if anybody wants to take notes. I mean, all the notes are kind of there, but.
Yeah, no, I think I'm happy to have the rest of this conversation in the next session because it's going to be a little RP trying to figure out I mean, I'm assuming that the next course of action is to investigate the members of the town who know about the locations of the magical items, and then embark on one or multiple quests to retrieve said magical items, likely fighting monsters and bosses along the way. My primary question to Cognan is going to be if we can borrow or know where we can acquire more mana crystals, so that each of us can hold one at all times in order to stabilize our own magic.
Hmm. Okay.
That's my primary goal before I leave the town, or at least retrieve a course of action that leads us to that solution.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna hold that. Write that down, and I'm gonna hold off on that. Kanadin, do you have any questions, parting thoughts, concerns? And you are muted.
Yeah, you're muted, bud.
What did that happen?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about
There
that.
you go.
I am just sitting there saying, okay, good. Now we have something to do. I am ready to move.
I have something that can get me off this goddamn island. Okay.
I want
You.
to get back down to the mainland.
I'm looking for a bee so I can talk to it and say, "Don't worry, we're gonna figure out what makes you so slow."
That's
So
so
I'm
kind.
basically
That's
just
funny.
looking around the room, waiting to use. It's not a spell, but the furball speech.
Ah, very good. Bellarmine, do you have any last parting questions?
Thank you for letting me stealth around.
No thanks necessary.
Clink,
As
clink.
D&D works, you do what you want to do.
Well, you got a library, and there's a lot of wisdom in the character. I want to go and see what's in the books.
I'm just curious how your god is going to react to your rude behavior.
Poking into a 10-year-old's diary.
Well, it was we weren't looking for what was going on. We were looking for how they got there.
Fair enough.
So,
All right. With that, I have to take off because I have an early morning meeting, so I need to get my sleep.
Sure thing.
But with that, good night, Internet. It's been fun. I enjoy RP when I can. All right.
See you later, everybody. This was a fun
Not
session.
at all.
Yay.
I'm loving Jeff's character arc.
yeah.